Welcome, my Pisces Risings, to your February 2023 little monthly report. I'm going to talk about 4 to 5 things here in the month that happened, a couple little tidbits, a couple little bit of dates, something like that. If you don't know your rising sign by chance, you can always send me a message down below to my contact me, and I'll send you a free chart. Pisces Risings. What a month you've had already in the end of January and now coming in to February. And it starts off with something interesting here because it has to do with the full moon that happens on February 5th. February 5th, the full moon in Leo, the fire sign of Leo happens, and it happens and occurs in the part and area of your life in the chart that deals with the sixth house, as they say. And this is the place of what they call service, of in a sense, how you do your daily activities, your work and systems, to-do lists, your regimented day, how you serve and work. It also has to deal with pets, which my Pisces risings, you seem to have pets. Like I think you have a thing with animals. I know you do. So besides that area of the chart, the Leo full moon shines its brightness there, its creativity, its need to show what is created from a core life force, and it brings that energy into your regimented daily life and wanting to do something and shine a different way of doing something there. Now, it's important to remember here that there's another big planet involved in this full moon, and it's planet Uranus, the planet of shock and awe and unpredictability, an electrical, unpredictable, out-of-the-blue planet whose function is to shake things up from what's normal. That planet is doing something to this Leo full moon. So there's an unpredictability and something out of the blue and a little bit of tension that happens on the weekend of February 5th with the full moon. For you, I would suggest that to be open about how you do your daily regimented life, your to-do list, the step-by-step, what time you get up, what you do in the morning, what you do after that. There's something new that can be brought in here on a creative level, something, and it's a little bit like you could have a surprise or two in this area. The other thing is I would look at your body as a system and look at certain parts of your system and pay attention, in a sense, look at switching something in your daily regimented body workings with this Leo full moon. Okay, now, on the 11th, the planet of communication, Mercury, how you form your ideas, thoughts, and opinions, enters the air sign of Aquarius. And this is going to happen in the part of your chart that deals with, they call the 12th house. This is the place that you go chill in. This is like the meditative place. The 12th house deals with rehabilitative places, prisons and institutions and retreat places, like, to go heal oneself on an internal level. And I know you're all about that, my Pisces risings in general. But here is kind of the place where it's like quiet, and where Mercury here in Aquarius is going to, when the communication does happen, is going to happen in a way that's not the norm. Okay? Aquarius always brings something new in, or wants to do something from the normal, and wants to rebel towards the status quo and bring in something inventive and progressive. And Mercury, it's doing it through words. It's doing it through a thought process in the area of internal rehabilitation. Also, the 12th house deals with sometimes illness. So it can be something of the mind, of quieting the mind, and bringing in new and inventive ways to quieting one's mind and how you communicate too. And this can be done internally too, or it can be done through writing. But think about it as a retreat. And what Mercury's doing here with its newness and its detachableness with the mind. Okay, so that happens in your 12th house. Now, when we get to the 18th, the sun leaves the Aquarius birthdays and starts entering the Piscean birthdays, okay? So here, now the sun, and within 24 hours, the new moon happens in Pisces. This happens in your rising sign, first house, the house of self. How the rising sign in the first house is self, me. It's even to your physical form and what happens there. It's the energy. It's how you engage the world, how you rise out into the world, rising sign, and also too how people will see you and engage with you. They'll engage with your rising sign first. It's kind of like these lenses are the rising sign that you view through, okay? And you're viewing the world through Piscean lenses. Now, the sun and the new moon happens here, and so you have a new seated moment here, a new beginning in all of this. And also, it's interesting because leading up to this moment, for the weeks before in February, from the end of January where I'm making this video and the several weeks before until February 20th, the planet Venus has been in the sign of Pisces where it loves to be and functions through compassionate love, divine love, through the senses. It's at home there. It flows there. This has been happening in your rising sign too. And then it ends. Venus is at the end of Pisces, and then the new moon kicks in. And so like you have this I'm not going to say viewing the world through rose-colored glasses like you usually do, but there's a new type of rose-colored glasses, a new variant of this, and this is a good thing, and it has to do with putting your wishes and also self-love and compassion for yourself and for the world. But most importantly, create healthy boundaries for your Piscean self that has a tendency to let things leak out in relationships or identify with other things and lose yourself. And it's here where you can corral things back in and get to the true nature of Pisces, which is connectiveness and oneness with the light. So right after the new moon, within an hour, it's like less than an hour, Venus leaves Pisces actually. It ends and goes into the sign of Aries, and this goes into your money house then for several weeks. All of a sudden you have this moment of a new moon, and then Venus switches up and starts to apply its story into how you deal with money and resources, your second house. And that's where Venus is going to go and eventually connect with Jupiter in Aries that's been there since the beginning of the year. So if you haven't had an influx of money coming in yet, and if you haven't imposed your creative will in the money house, in your resources house, in the place that deals with your value systems, this is the time to do it. You put yourself first in that area. You might have something where your instincts are involved here, where Venus, the planet that deals with money and resources and relationships in your resources house, kind of magnifies itself eventually with Jupiter being there. So put yourself out there. I'm not saying to spend money, by the way. I'm saying how you formulate and come up on an instinctual level in your relationship to money, and then how you put yourself out there through the vessels of what you use to make cash or to bring in resources, or on a deeper subconscious level deals with your value systems. Okay, so that kind of rounds up the month. That's the last I have to say for my quick February 2023 forecast for you, my Pisces risings. I'm always looking out for you folks because you have hearts of gold. You know, I feel you. I know you. If you liked what you heard and what you've seen, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you on the next video.